Hi, my name is Jen, and welcome to Cozy Quest Chronicles. Today I'm going to be making some punch cards. If you're unfamiliar, these cards kind of remix the kind of card you would get at a frozen yogurt shop and helps you track goals and habits that you'll make for yourself. So if you feel like following along, here are some of the things I'll be using today. First, here I have a ruler, just to help me measure how long I want my cards to be. I'll be using a paper cutter, but if you have scissors, that works just as well. This is called a Furbon. If you're interested, I got off of Amazon. It was super cheap. Next, I'll be using Blick's Smooth Bristol paper. I have it left over from an art class that I took a few years back. However, I just recommend whatever cardstock you can get your hands on, just so that the cards have some weight to them. You'll also need something to color with. I'll be using these Crayola markers that need to be used a little bit more. And I'm also using this Muji pen just so I can outline or write things out. I may not use it, but we'll see what happens. Before I begin my project, I'm going to log on to Pinterest and see what inspiration I can find. I don't necessarily want to copy what other people are doing, but it is helpful to see how people formatted theirs, what icons they used for certain habits, what kind of backgrounds they did, if they left it white, if they colored it all. And I think I really liked the look of the background being one color and the icons being a different color or just coming out a little bit more. The watercolor ones were really cool too, and kind of itching to break out my watercolor set, but I know I need to use these markers, and so I feel like this is a really perfect project to use them. So sticking with the markers as of right now. I've already created goals for myself this year. It's just a matter of writing it all down on paper, so I know exactly what it is I'm going to be drawing punch cards on and brainstorming their look for. It might be helpful for you too to sort of write down what your goals are. You don't necessarily have to make punch cards for every single one of them. Perhaps you start with one, see how that one goes for maintaining that habit. If it works, you keep doing it. If it doesn't, then you stop. I think that this is a really cute, positive reinforcement system that an adult can use. And so I'm really excited to use this and hopefully help me stay on track with my goals. And hopefully it'll be helpful for you too. Now that I have an idea about what I'm going to do, I'm going to start creating my cards. So I'm going to measure my cards with my ruler. I'm going to be making them about 3 inches long and about 2¼ inches tall. You can probably find my exact measurements as you're watching. Next, I'll be using my paper cutter to cut out my cards. There is nothing better than this straight, clean cut it makes every single time. I swear nothing can be beat. If you do a lot of projects that involve cutting, I highly recommend. I wanted to make sure that all of the cards were about the same size, or as close to the same size as they could be. So I put the first card on top of the second card that I'd be cutting, and then I traced it with a pencil, so then I knew where to cut it and where to place it on my paper cutter. Here's a closer shot so you can see exactly what I mean. I think this way of doing it is especially helpful when you don't have a paper cutter, because then you have a straight line to cut through. So for my first habit card, I decided to focus on exercising. I use an exercise app called Ladder, and their colors are lime green and black, or at least I think it's a lime green. I'm not sure, but this was the closest green I had that matched the app's color. And anyway, my vision was to color the entire card green, and then I was going to draw the little ladders as the icons that I would punch out. And the goal is for every 3 priority workouts, as they call it on the app, I would punch the ladder. The ladder icons were probably the hardest part about this, but once I realized that all I needed to draw were bolted eaches, it made it easier for me to move on and feel okay with the way it looked. It's missing one rung from the ladder, but that's okay. My next punch card idea was for drawing, so I made a commitment to myself to draw for at least 30 minutes a day, because one of my goals this year is to become a better artist. I had trouble coming up with the icons for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking maybe a paintbrush, but I wasn't really painting. And then I thought maybe I can draw a pencil. and then I thought, it might be too hard for me to outline with a marker. So then I settled for drawing shapes because, as most great artists know, as I'm sure if you are watching, you are probably a really good artist, you know that if you can draw great shapes, you can draw anything. So for the top row, I drew 2D shapes, and for the bottom row, I did 3D shapes. As you can tell, I still need to practice these, but they're getting better every single day. And speaking of getting better every single day, I also noticed that my icons were left-leaning, and so I really had to think about how I was going to fill that space because I didn't really want to erase it and start over again. So I figured that since the next thing I want to practice are figures and people, I thought I'd draw a cute little stick figure as my last punch. And then of course I whipped out my ruler to draw a straight line to help me draw my title for the card. And if you could believe it, my title was Drawing. And so I drew it in my neatest handwriting, and then again, of course, it was left-leaning, so I drew a little light bulb next to it. I'm hoping that drawing more will give me some inspiration, and it looked really nice. I debated whether or not to add color, but it looked kind of like a sketch, so I just kept it blank. And then my next punch card idea was to read more, which I feel like is on my goal list every single year. And for this punch card, I decided to take out the colored pencils. I know I said that I want to stick with markers, but I just felt called, and I think when you feel called, you just have to listen to yourself. There are no rules, and it's supposed to be fun. So I used this lighter purple for the background. I don't know why in my brain I think purple reading, I don't know. Then I started sketching out what the icons could be. I felt that an open book would be cute, and so I was sketching how I wanted it to look. But then I also thought, maybe I want the spine, or I want it to be flat and then I write the word book in it. I was really unsure. But then I finally settled for the open book with the pages showing. When I went to go and draw it, I ended up using a very heavy hand to draw the books because I felt I wouldn't have been able to see it with the colored penciled background, if that makes sense. I think I was also feeling kind of brave enough to do it, even if it was messed up a little bit, but I knew it wasn't going to show very much once I went over it with marker. And if you stayed this long, you're probably noticing that I am really good at making left-leaning projects. So I filled up that last space with a 7th book, and then I will start a new punch card. And then for the title, I was feeling pretty brave again. Didn't feel like I needed the ruler to help me draw the title straight. And as you can see, I was super excited about reading a lot of books that I wrote 8 books. And then I had to erase it, and then I colored over it with pencil, and then as you can see, there was like this darker purple part, and I was kind of upset by it, but it could look worse. I mean, at the end of the day, this is only for me, and I don't hate it that much. As I was rummaging through my pencil case, I realized that I had this Le Pen drawing pen that I got from New York City Comic Con this past year, and so then I drew over the words with that pen, and then, like I mentioned before, I knew I was going to go over the books with the dark purple marker, and then for the pages, I colored it in with this lighter purple marker. And I was hesitant at first about how it might have looked, but it's all different shades of purple, so obviously it came out just fine. And I'm really into how it came out. And then finally, I went over it with this same Le Pen drawing marker. I don't think it needed it, but I think I was just excited to keep going over the book, honestly. You know, when you just enter that flow state? Yeah, I think that's what really happened. So after this one, I actually created a 4th punch card, but unfortunately, I didn't get to catch it on film. Thought I pressed record, but I guess not. However, as you can see, it was a no spend day punch card. Drew little monies for my punches, and I think that one also came out really cute. At the end of the day, I'm really happy with how all of them came out. If you made your own punch cards, I'd love to know what habits you're tracking in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye!